Hey, this is Jay, and in this video I'm going to show you how to make a website from scratch, step by step, by using WordPress, and you do not need to know any HTML or any other type of coding. This website will look incredible, as if a professional designed it. It'll work perfectly on any device, so desktops, laptops, tablets, or smartphones, and you can do this for any type of business or niche. WordPress has become the top way for creating websites all over the world, since it lets you build your pages in just hours instead of weeks or months. And thanks to it, it has never been easier to create your own website than it is now. You basically just have to get your own domain and hosting with WordPress. Then you'll choose a design that you want to import from hundreds of options. These designs were created by professionals for every type of business out there. After you do so, you'll literally be able to modify anything you want, from the colors, images, the text, backgrounds. You can add any elements or sections you need, delete anything you don't need, or rearrange all the sections and elements by simply dragging and dropping them. You can add buttons, videos, contact forms, your own logo, and much more. You can add as many pages as you need, and even create your own blog. And you can do this from a Mac or PC, since you don't have to download any software and everything is done online, so all you need is an internet connection. Alright, so let's go over all the things you need, and what you're probably wondering the most, how much is it gonna cost you? So there's 5 things you'll need. Number 1 is the web hosting, which is where you store all your pages, images, files, etc., so that people can actually access them and view all your content. This will cost you between $5.95 to $3.95 a month, depending on how many months you purchase. So the more months you buy, the cheaper it's gonna be. Okay, number 2 is the domain name, which is also known as the URL. And this is the actual address of your website. So youtube.com is a domain name, facebook.com is a domain name, and in this case, the name of your business.com or .net, .org, or whatever you want would be your domain name, right? So one way to look at this would be the hosting is like your actual house, and the domain name is the address of how to get there. And this normally would cost you about $15, but I'll show you how to get it for free. Next, we're gonna need an SSL security certificate, which will mark your website as secure in your visitors' browsers and protect you and your visitors against hackers and viruses. Without one, your visitors will get all sorts of security warnings before they even see your website, and they'll just block you. So this is very important, and without one, you won't be able to take payments from your site or rank in Google. This usually costs about $60 or more, but I will also show you how to get one for free. Next, we're gonna need WordPress, which is also free. And what this does is that it lets you manage all your content and add new stuff to your website without the need of ever touching any type of code. All you gotta do is configure some basic settings. Okay, and finally, we create your website. Since we're doing this ourselves without hiring designers or developers, this is also free, but there is an optional tool I do recommend, which costs $4 per month. Right? So the total cost of your website would be between $3.95 to $9.95 per month, depending on what plans you choose, which would come out to just about $47 to $119 per year. Alright, so this is all very affordable, and we're now going to get started with all the steps, but if you'd like to see an even more in-depth and detailed tutorial, check out my 100% free web design course at digitalmarketerstube.com. Okay, so the first 4 things that we need, the hosting, domain name, SSL certificate, and WordPress, can all be taken care of in one step. There's many web hosting companies out there, and I actually have another video where I compare the most popular ones. But basically, the one I recommend the most is BlueHost. This is where I host every one of my websites, and you can go to bluehostsavings.com for the best prices currently available, or just click on the link below in the description. And one of the reasons why I recommend this company is because they'll give you the domain name and SSL certificate for free, and it already comes with WordPress automatically installed. On top of that, you'll also get a free business email address so that you can look more professional when communicating with clients. right? So instead of using something like yourbusinessname@gmail.com, you would have something like info@yourbusinessname.com, or support, or your name@yourbusinessname.com, or pretty much anything you prefer. Okay, and on top of that, as a cool bonus, you will also get free access to my SEO course, which will show you how to rank your website in the top results of Google so that tons of people can find you without ever paying a single cent for ads. So if you're interested in that, the instructions on how to claim this are on the description below. But anyway, to sign up, just click on this button. Right here, you'll see the different packages they offer. With the cheapest one, you'll only be able to host one website on your account, but with the other options, you can host unlimited sites. Okay, so choose the most convenient one for you. If you're not sure which one to choose, go with the cheapest one. It's perfectly fine, and you can later upgrade at any time if you wish to do so. Alright, so next, this is where you choose your free domain name. So yourbusinessname.com. If you already own a domain name, you can transfer it here. Or if you're not sure of what name you want to use, you can skip this step for now down here. Now we'll come to this screen where you just have to enter your personal info. In the next section, you can choose your payment plan. So this is what I was talking about before. The more months you select, the cheaper the price per month is going to be. Down here, you can uncheck these extras if you wish to save a little more money. And finally, just enter your payment information to finish the registration process. After you register, you just gotta create your password and advance to your account. Alright, so now we're gonna access our WordPress. To do so, just click on this button right here, or go to yourbusinessname.com/admin. And after a few seconds, we'll arrive at your WordPress dashboard. This is where you control every single aspect about your website, and whenever you want to change or add something, this is where you come to. Right? So let's first configure a couple of settings. Click here on Settings on the menu. And right here, you can enter the name of your business. Under tagline, you can enter something like your slogan, but I normally just leave this blank. And then you got other basic settings like the language, date and time format, etc. So just scroll all the way down and save your changes. Next, we're going to go to permalinks under settings. And make sure that the post name option is selected. This part is very important because this is the recommended URL structure by Google. So save. And now all the URLs in your website will have this format. Right? Next, we're going to go to pages. As you would guess, right here is where you can add new pages and edit existing ones. But for now, we're just going to select the default pages that were already here. We're going to select Move to Trash in this dropdown and Apply. We'll go to Posts and do the same here. And the difference between pages and posts is that pages is for things like your home page, About Us, or Contact Us page. And posts is for your blog posts in case you want to have one. Right? So just delete all the generic stuff that comes by default on your WordPress. And then next, we're going to go to Appearance Themes. The theme is the design of your website. And as you can see, we have a bunch of pre-installed themes right here. Now, traditionally in WordPress, if you wanted to change the look of your pages, you would just install a new theme. But this is the old way of creating WordPress websites. And with our new method, the theme is not that important anymore. There's a ton of themes you can choose from. Some are free and some are paid. Obviously, if you wanted to have a really good design, you would have to buy one for $50 to $200 or more. But you wouldn't have as much freedom to build your pages exactly as you wanted to. So the way we're going to design our pages will not be through the theme. And we're going to talk more about this in just a second. But either way, we do have to install a theme for our site to work. right? So we go to add new right here. And we're gonna search for Astra. It's this one here, so we install it. And activate it. Okay, so now this theme is live on our site, and since we don't need the other ones, we can go ahead and delete them. So click on each one, and right here on the bottom right, we delete them with this button. Okay, so once you're left with only Astra, you can click here to edit the theme settings. If you were trying to design your site by using the theme, you would have to configure all these settings here one by one, which was really annoying, but also, like I said, you wouldn't get too much freedom to make things look exactly the way you wanted to. Alright, so the only option we're going to configure is right here on header, site identity, and then come down here to site icon and upload your logo in this section. You just drag it from your desktop, and now your logo will show up here on the browser tab. If you don't have a logo yet, I have another video where I show you how to create one completely for free, so I'll link to it up on the top if you want to check it out. Okay, and then the last thing we gotta do before we actually create our pages is go to plugins, select everything you see here, and deactivate them. And then once again select them all and delete them. So by default, WordPress doesn't come with many functionalities available. For instance, if you want to add buttons to your pages, you need to install a plugin for that. If you want to add a contact form so that people can send you messages, you need to add another plugin for that. If you want to add a slider, pop-ups, sell products, etc., you would have to install a different plugin for each one of these things. Luckily for us, we now have an amazing plugin available which pretty much does everything else the other plugins do, and it's the only plugin you'll ever need when it comes to designing your pages. But first, let's begin by installing one very important plugin. Let's go to add new right here, and search for Really Simple SSL. Install it, and activate it. And what this plugin does is that it will activate the SSL security certificate that you got for free at BlueHostSavings.com. Like I said, this SSL certificate is extremely important, so we have to make sure that it's active. And after you install the plugin, just click on this button right here, and it will all be automatically set up for you. From now on, your website should always have a little log icon before the URL, and that's how you know your SSL certificate is active. And then the other plugin I was talking about before is called Elementor. So to install it, we just go to add new, search for Elementor right here, install it, and then activate it. Right? So this plugin is free, but they also have a pro version with a bunch more features that I strongly recommend you get by going to elementornow.com or by clicking on the link in the description below this video. This is pretty much how most plugins in WordPress work. They're free with basic features, but if you want to unlock the more advanced options, you have to get the pro version. And like I just mentioned, before Elementor existed, you would have to get a bunch of different plugins for every feature you wanted to add to your site. And for most of these, you just had to get the pro version in order to access all their features. So by having to buy the pro version for a bunch of plugins, plus a paid theme, you used to have to invest a lot of money on your website. But now, thanks to Elementor, you don't need to buy any of that. You can just get this Elementor Pro version and you will save a ton of money. This is just one of the reasons why Elementor won the WordPress Plugin of the Year award. So like I said at the beginning, you have the option to build everything for free by using a bunch of different plugins and learning how to use each one. Although I cannot guarantee that you're not going to need the Pro versions for some of them if you want to do some more advanced stuff. Or you can just get Elementor Pro, which is the only tool I recommend you buy. So go to elementornow.com or click on the link in the description below and you'll come to this page where you can choose your license. If you only want to use Elementor on one website, you can get the cheapest one. If you want to use it on a couple of websites, you can get the second one. Or if you want to use it on up to 1,000 sites, you can get the third one. Alright, so after you sign up, you'll get a zip file which you'll have to upload to your WordPress by going to Plugins, Add New, Upload Plugin, and then just drag that zip file here from your computer. Next, just install it. And activate it. And finally, you just come here and click on this button to connect your site with your Elementor Pro license and you'll be all set. Alright, now here's a big bonus I'm going to give you. When you sign up for Elementor Pro by going to elementornow.com or clicking on the link below, I'm going to give you a bunch of Pro plugins for your site completely for free. While Elementor is the only plugin you'll ever need when it comes to designing your pages, there are other plugins that I recommend you get in order to make your site run smoothly. So the first plugin I'm going to give you will make your site load extremely fast, and speed is the most important factor of your site because if it doesn't load fast enough, people will get annoyed and leave. Most people will only wait up to 3 to 5 seconds for each page to load, so this is very crucial. Second, I'm going to give you a plugin that will make your site ultra secure with advanced protection against hackers, malware, and viruses. And third, I'm going to give you a plugin that will create automatic backups of your website, so in case anything goes wrong, you can easily restore everything in less than a minute. These plugins are all paid and have a combined value of $170, but since I have the GPL license, I can legally give them to you for free. So if you want to claim these bonuses, along with my course where I show you how to optimize your website for optimal performance, check out the instructions in the description below. Okay, so now we're done setting up our WordPress and we can finally begin the most exciting part of this tutorial, which is creating all your pages. Now, you have two options for this. The first one is designing everything yourself, which is how I explain it in my free course, or the way I'm going to explain it here, which is by importing professionally designed websites. So for that, we're going to add one last plugin. So go to Add New and search for Astra Starter Sites. Right, so install it and activate it. Go to Appearance, Astra Starter Sites. And here it's going to ask us which builder we're using, so select Elementor. If we wait a couple of seconds, hundreds of entire professionally designed websites will load so that you can just import them to your WordPress. And if let's say you have a restaurant, we first click here on the free tab, because not all of these are free, and then we search for restaurant. Now we'll see these options, and if we check one of these out, we can see it's a very well designed page, which looks good in tablets and in mobile phones as well. And this is not just the home page, it's the entire website with a bunch of other pages. And with the help of the Elementor plugin that we installed, you can replace all these images with your own, add your own text, colors, logo, etc. You'll see how easy it is in just a second, but first, let's import this website by clicking on Import. You'll just have to wait a few minutes until it's ready. And if for some reason you cannot find a design related to your business or niche, like I said, there's hundreds of cool designs available, and you can just look for one that you like and is similar to what you're trying to do, and then just import it and replace all the content like I'm about to show you. Right, so when the process is done, we just click on View Site, and we'll see your new website is live. We can navigate through some of the pages, and it was that easy to create them. It looks really good and professional, and we saved a ton of time and money. All that's left now is to actually edit the content. For that, you can either navigate to the page you want to edit, so let's say the home page, and then here in this top bar, click on Edit with Elementor. By the way, this top bar is only visible to you when you're logged in. Your visitors will never see this bar here. So you can either click here or go to Pages on your dashboard, go to the one you want to edit, and then click on Edit with Elementor. This will load the visual page builder, and to modify anything, you simply click on it. So for instance, this headline, and right here you write whatever you want. Let's say this is a tacos restaurant. In the Style tab of each element, you can edit their look, so maybe change the color, font family, size, weight, and basically anything else you want to change. You can also change this text below. Again, by going to the Style tab, you can modify things like the color. Then you can modify this other text below as well, or if you don't need any more text here, we can get rid of this section with this X. Right, this is a section made up of 3 columns. We got a line element on the first and third columns, and a heading in the middle one. So we can right click on each element and delete them one by one, or just delete the whole section altogether. Same with this fork and knife up here. They each are in one column, and this text is in another column. So you can delete the images, or even the entire columns, and be left with one column. Or if you change your mind, you can press Ctrl or Command Z to bring them back. Or you can also go down here to this history icon, which will show all our changes that you can undo if you need to. Okay, if you want to move this element here, you simply drag it wherever you want it to go. Or you can also right click and delete it, but it looks nice, so I'll just leave it there. To change the background of this section, you can either click here to select the whole section, or just right click anywhere on the section and select Edit Section. We go to Style. You can remove the image and use a solid color, or you can upload your own image by going here and just drag one from your computer, or just select one of the already existing ones that were imported. You can then play around with the settings and change the image position, the attachment, which if you leave it on fixed, when you scroll down, the image will not move. Or if you set it to scroll, the image will scroll down with the rest of the page. I think fixed looks cool, so I'll just leave it there. And as you might have noticed, the image seems a little darker than it really is. And that's because there's a background overlay. If you go down here and click on background overlay, we'll see there's a black color here. below we have the opacity slider, which if we drag it all the way to the left, the colors on the image will now look right. But if we drag it to the right, we'll add this semi-transparent black layer on top, and this is very useful when the image on the back is competing too much with the text and it's hard to read. Right, going back to the background here, we can add a gradient as well with this icon. We can add a slideshow of images on the background with this last icon. And if we turn on this Ken Burns effect here, it will look really nice. You can control the duration, transition, and other settings here. Or you can even add a background video with this third icon. Just paste the video link from YouTube or Vimeo. And then we can change the start time and end time. Let's do 385 and 425. And that way, only the part of the video I want to show will loop here in the back, which looks really cool. Okay, another very cool thing you can do is go down here to shape divider. Select bottom. And then browse all the different types here, which let you add this nice transition between this section and the next. Right? So that looks really cool. And then if you want to reduce or increase the space above or below the text, we go to the Advanced tab and change the padding right here. If we save and then preview the page with this eye icon, we can see this text has an entrance animation. We can modify this by going back here and clicking on the text, going to the Advanced tab, Motion Effects, and down here we see the entrance animation option. So we can choose any other one you like, or just remove it with this X. Right? So then, right here, we got a bunch of elements we can insert into our page. For example, if I just delete this headline and come down here and insert an animated headline instead, we can have this really cool animated text. We can change the type of animation, and then modify the style to make it look better. So make the text white, use the Berkshire font that was being used on the previous headline, make it bigger, change the shape color. So if you want to make it the same color as this text below, I just click on it, go to Style, click on the color, and add it to my color picker with this plus sign. So then if we go back to the animated headline, I can easily choose the color right here. Right? So you got all these elements you can insert here, but some of them, like this animated headline, are only available with the Elementor Pro version. So remember to go to elementornow.com to get it, or click on the link below. As I was saying before, if you wanted to insert any of these elements, you would have to install a different plugin for each one of them. You would then have to learn how to use these plugins, see if they're good enough, and maybe even have to buy the Pro version of all those plugins. I will show you what I mean later on. But with Elementor Pro, you get everything in one easy to use plugin, so I definitely recommend it. Okay, so down here we got the next section, which again, you can edit just like the previous one. So right now we got 3 columns. But let's say you want to get rid of this one here, so you just delete it. And then you want to get rid of this image, but not the column. So you right click on the image instead of the column and delete it. And if you want to insert, let's say, a video, you simply drag this element wherever you want to. And then enter your video URL here. You can drag the space between the columns to change their sizes. We can modify this button, change the text here. The link, if you want to link it to the menu page, you just type menu here. And the menu page will show up here, so just select it, and now this button is linked to that page. We can change the button icon here. Place it before or after, or even get rid of it. In the Style tab, we can change the look of the button. So the background color, text color, in the Hover tab, we can change the background and text color when you roll your mouse over the button. You can also change the animation or remove it. Then if we take a look down here, we got another button. And if I want it to look exactly like the one above, I just go and copy it. Then come back here and right click, paste style. And that way you save a lot of time when modifying your pages. Okay, this menu section here has this effect where the menu is overlaid in between these two sections here, right? This part with the dark background is one section, and this one here is another section. And to change this, you simply click on the menu section, go to Advanced, and you'll see it has a negative top margin. So if we remove this, the menu will go back inside this dark section. And if we add a top margin of 130 instead, then it will fit nicely inside. But I'll bring it back to negative 130 because it looks cool. So yeah, always play around with the margins of the elements and sections to make everything look better. Okay, and then we got the rest of the sections which you can keep editing just like I've shown you. You can drag them above or below each other like this. Or you can just delete a whole section that you don't need with this X. You can also add a whole new section with this plus sign. You can click on this other plus sign again if you want to build the whole section from scratch. So choose how many columns you want to have. So this one here has 2 columns. And you can make it 1, 2, 3, or as many columns as you need. So let's choose 1. You can add a headline and center it. Add some text, center it as well. Add an image. And a button that we can center as well. Right? So first of all, this image is too wide. So we can edit the section and reduce the content width. That way it looks better. Next, we can add a background. Let's say a gradient. We can change the colors here. The angle. Next, we gotta go to the Advanced tab and add some padding on the top and bottom so that the elements are not so close to the borders. If we just enter a value here, it'll be the same for all sides, so we first have to unlink them. And then enter some padding on the top and the bottom. Next, we can just copy the styles of the headline, paragraph, and button from the other sections. Okay, another cool thing we can do is, let's say, click on this image, go to the Advanced tab, go to Motion Effects, turn on the scrolling effects, and you can add a bunch of parallax effects. So if I turn this one on, for example, the image will rotate as I scroll down the page. If I turn it off and turn on the next one, the image will scale up as I scroll down the page. Or you can also make it scale down here instead. Alright, so you got all these cool motion effects here that you can add to your elements, but these are only available with the Elementor Pro version. If you don't have the Pro version, you would either have to look for another plugin that can do this, or write the code manually. So because of these type of things is why this Elementor Pro is so convenient. Right? So we'll now have a nice new section here, but an even faster method to add a section would be by clicking on this plus sign here, and then on the folder icon. Right here we'll see hundreds of templates for full pages we can insert into our page. But if we click here on the Blocks tab, you can search for the type of section you want to insert, and then insert the template you like the most. By the way, most of these templates are only available with the Elementor Pro version. You can obviously then modify every element like I've shown you, and this way you can build your pages even faster. Last thing I want to show you here is how to make your pages look good in all devices. This is very important because 60% of the people who visit your website will do so from their mobile devices. So to do that, we simply click here on this icon and select tablet to look at how your page will look on a tablet. If you want to make this headline smaller, you just click on it, go to Style, Typography, and then next to Size, you'll see a tablet icon, meaning that whatever value you enter here for the size will only affect the tablet version. So if I set it to 90, it looks smaller here now, but if we go back to desktop, you can just click on the icon and select desktop. The text looks a lot bigger here, right? So you can do the same for mobile and fix every single element that looks bad in that version. So this headline size again, and this shape divider here as well, and so on until the whole page looks good. If you want to hide an element on a specific device, let's say this shape here, we click on it and go to Advanced, Responsive, and we hide it on mobile. It will now turn semi-transparent to indicate that it's hidden on mobile, but if we click on this arrow, you'll see it's now gone. Okay, so like I said, make sure that all your pages look good in every device. Alright, let's save this page for now, and let's go to edit another one. So if we preview this, we can then click on the Contact Us page, and then edit with Elementor up here. Okay, so if you notice, whenever we try to edit anything on the header, like the logo or the menu, we're not able to do it. That's because this section is being added onto our pages through the Astra theme. The good news is that if you got Elementor Pro, we can just add a new section with 2 columns, add an image here, insert our logo, reduce the size between these columns, add a nav menu element on the second column, and then just modify this element until it looks exactly the way you want it to. I'm not going to go over that since I've already explained how to edit elements, but then if we save and go back to the dashboard, we can disable the Astra header down here, same with the footer and anything else you want. And if we save and preview, you'll see the old header is gone and we got this new one here. But if you don't have the Elementor Pro version, you're gonna have to customize your theme. So go to Appearance, Customize, then Header, Site Identity. Right here you can change your logo. Then back here, click on Primary Header. You can change the layout here. Back here on Primary Menu, you can change this button to a search icon instead. Or just remove it completely. And then here on Transparent Header, you can enable it on Complete Website. And then here you can change things like the background color. Okay, to edit the menu, go all the way back and click on Menus, Primary Menu, and here you can rearrange the options. Drag them to the side in case you want to create a drop-down menu, or you can add more items here. Right? So you would only have to do this if you don't have the Elementor Pro version, but it's going to take a bit longer to edit the header, and you're probably not going to be able to make it look exactly how you want it to, like you can with Elementor Pro. But anyway, when you're done, just publish up here. I'm not going to save any of these changes, so I'll just go back to the Contact Us page. And the next thing I want to show you is this contact form we got down here. So if we click on it, we'll see we cannot edit it here on Elementor. That's because this form was created with another plugin. If you have Elementor Pro, you can just easily create your own form by inserting this element. And then just modify all the fields, add or delete any field. And change the look on the Style tab, like with all the other elements. You see how easy that was? But if you don't have the Pro version, you gotta use other plugins. So if we go back to the dashboard, in this case we're using this WP Forms, which was installed when we imported the whole site through the Astra starter sites. Right? So click on it and edit the form here to include all the fields you want, and then save. But if we go back here and take a look at the top, it says you're using WP Forms Lite. To unlock more features, consider upgrading to Pro. So that's what I've been talking about all along. All these plugins give you basic features in their free versions, but in order to do everything you need, you gotta get the Pro versions. And instead of having to buy the Pro version for a bunch of plugins, which if we check this one out, it costs $40 just to have a contact form. But for basically the same price, you can go to elementornow.com and get everything you need in just one plugin. That's why I love it so much, and that's why I strongly recommend it. Right? So anyway, you got this shortcode at the end of the form that you just have to copy and paste it back here in Elementor, which in this case is already here. But if you want to create a different form or add it somewhere else, you'd have to do it with shortcodes. If you want to add something like a slider, you just drag this element here, and boom, you got a slider that you can modify with your own background images. Your own content, and make it look exactly the way you want it to. If we click on this section and select full width, the slider will occupy the whole screen. Now we just have to edit the column, go to advanced, and give it 0 padding. Okay, so if you wanted to do this without the Pro version, you'd have to get another plugin for sliders and insert the shortcode here. Same thing for all these Pro elements, which by the way, I go over each and every one of them in my free course that you can access with the link in the description. But basically, that's how you can easily create a whole website in WordPress without any coding knowledge and in a very short amount of time. And your site will look very professional and it'll look amazing in all devices. Alright, so if you have any comments or questions, leave them down below and I'll reply as soon as I can. If this was helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you later.